of your favorite schoolhouse.
I thought Schoolhouse Rock was just catchy little songs between cartoons.
4, 3,
3, 6, 9,
12,
12, 15, 18,
21.
21, 24, 27.
I couldn't have been more wrong. The man behind those songs had a past nobody ever talked about.
3 is a magic number.
The show almost disappeared forever.
Then I wound up on the president's desk, and I said,
And the people who gave an entire generation these memories never got what they deserved.
Conjunction Junction, what's your function?
Conjunction Junction, what's your function?
Once I found out the real story, I couldn't watch those cartoons the same way again.
In the family, that's a magic number.
Something was hiding in plain sight. I'll be honest with you, for about 40 years, I thought I knew exactly what this show was. The little stuff between the cartoons, the grammar songs,
Well, every person you can know and every place that you can go.
the math songs,
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50.
the thing you sang while you waited for Bugs Bunny to come on. Filler. That was it. Then a few months back, I actually started digging into it, and yeah, no. Almost nothing I believed was true. It wasn't a kid's show that happened to be clever.
It takes 3 legs to make a tripod or to make a table stand.
The people who made it were doing something way bigger than teaching you to count, and most of them never saw a dime for it. And one of them recorded with Miles Davis, and the master tapes got lost. And okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start where it actually starts, with a kid who couldn't do his homework.
Because it was a magic number.
It started because a kid failed at math. And the start of the whole thing is so ordinary, it almost makes you laugh. There's an ad man in New York, David McCall, and his son cannot do multiplication. Just cannot. But, and every parent watching is already nodding, this same kid can sing every word of every song on the radio. Knows the Stones cold.
4, 3,
3, 6, 9,
12,
12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30.
Can't tell you what 7 times 8 is. You've met this kid. You might have raised this kid. So McCall figures the problem isn't the boy, it's the delivery. He remembers songs? Fine. Give him the math as a song. Most people have that exact thought and let it die in the shower. McCall picked up the phone. He didn't fix his kid, he fixed the lesson. And the guy he called to pull it off was a total stranger to every parent in America, and a flat-out legend to every musician in New York.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill.
The jazz man nobody told us about.
I got the idea of a title called 3 is a magic number.
His name was Bob Dorough. And here's where I've got to stop you, because as a kid, this man was wallpaper. He was just the voice, that warm, scratchy voice on the math songs.
Go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. Stop.
I never gave him a second thought. So when I found out he'd sung on a Miles Davis album, I actually said it out loud. Miles Davis? You don't understand. Miles fired people for breathing wrong. Most untouchable, impossible to please musician who ever lived, and he put Dorough on his record. So the man teaching a room full of 8-year-olds to count by 3s between cartoons was a heavyweight. The real deal. And get this, the first song he wrote for the show wasn't even brand new.
Junction, junction, what's your function?
It was an idea he'd been carrying around for years. And buried in it is a verse you have never heard in your life.
lolly, 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 get your adverbs here. Lolly, 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 got some adverbs here.
The verse they cut from your childhood. That verse. So 3 is a magic number. You know it. You could sing it right now.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is.
But the version in your head is the edited one. Dorough wrote a part about a man, a woman, and a baby. The 3 of them, a little family. And somebody took scissors to it. Cut. Gone. Why? Time. The song ran a few seconds long.
That's a magic number.
So they trimmed a verse about love out of a song about the number 3, and nobody ever told you. And you've been singing the short version for 50 years thinking it was the whole thing. That's a strange feeling, isn't it? Finding out something you knew by heart had a piece missing the entire time. And the rule that forced the cut had nothing to do with art. It was a stopwatch. Every song, same length, no exceptions.
9 and 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times 1.
Why every song was exactly 180 seconds. Time one, sometime. Pull up any of them, watch the clock. 3 minutes. Every single one. Not about 3 minutes. 3 minutes, like clockwork. And once you know why, you can't unsee it.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union.
They were built to drop into the exact spot a commercial would go. Same slot, same length. Which, as a kid, would have sounded like a knock. Oh, so it's filler, the cheap stuff before the real cartoons. But flip it around as a grown man who sat through some bloated 40-minute video with 90 seconds of actual point in it. These guys taught you a whole idea. Beginning, middle, end in 180 seconds. And you kept it for half a century. Try doing that today. Nobody can. But before any of these ever aired, there was one more gate they had to clear. And this time, it wasn't the network. The classroom that approved your childhood. You figure a kid's show gets dumbed down. Softened, made...
Oh, but it looks like I'm gonna live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
a little dumber and a little less true so the little ones can keep up. This one went the other way entirely. Every song got shipped off to actual teachers at Bank Street College in New York, who went through the lyrics line by line. Not asking, is this cute? Asking, is this correct?
Conjunction Junction, what's your function?
Real educators signing off on the facts before a single note reached your living room. And that, right there, is why you can still spit out the preamble word for word without trying. It wasn't dumbed down, it got checked. Honestly, that one reframed the whole show for me. Somebody back there actually cared whether they were lying to you. And it's exactly that care that made one particular song land harder than all the rest. Problem is, that song nearly didn't survive the 80s. The tapes vanished. Okay, this one stopped me cold. 1985, the show ends, no fanfare, just gone. And then the master tapes vanish. The originals. Every song you grew up on. The actual recordings. Just missing. For years, nobody could say where they went. And if you're my age, you feel that one in your chest. Because how much of your own childhood is exactly that? Gone. The house got sold, the home movies are on a tape nothing plays anymore, your dad's voice, your bedroom, the smell of that carpet. Try and pull it back and you can't quite get there. So when word got out that the masters were lost, everybody assumed the same thing. Tossed, destroyed. The way networks throw out anything that stops making money. And that's the part that really gets me. We're all so used to losing things that we just assume the worst.
I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction Junction, what's your function?
A barn in Connecticut. Except they weren't tossed. Somebody finally found them, and not in a vault, not in some climate-controlled studio archive. In a barn. An actual barn in Connecticut. Dusty boxes, and inside, the reel-to-reel masters of every song that ran your Saturday mornings. The real ones. The ones the whole world had given up for dead. And the guy who found them wasn't even looking, they just turned up. Sit with how nuts that is for a second. This doesn't happen anymore.
Function. I got and button or they'll get you pretty far. Tip like this and that. But
nothing gets lost and found like this now. There's no cloud backup version of this story. It's a box, in a barn, saved by pure dumb luck. And finding those tapes did more than save the show.
milk and honey, bread and butter, peas and rice.
It cracked open how these songs were actually made, including a sound that's buried in every one of them. Something you've heard 1,000 times and never once questioned. Listen closely to the backing vocals. Go put one on and listen past the lead vocal.
You just lost the game!
Hooray, I'm for the other team.
Those little kids singing in the background, you never thought about them, did you? Just kids, background kids. Except they weren't hired, weren't a studio choir. They were the musician's own children. Dorough's daughter Arilee is in there. They're friends' kids. Somebody loaded their actual children into a studio and had them sing on the records you grew up on. And here's what quietly wrecked me. Those kids aren't kids. They're our age, 50s, 60s, right now, looking back at their own little voices the same way you're looking back at yours. You weren't just listening to a song.
Right here at school, felt like a fool when they called my name, talking about the government and how it's arranged.
You were listening to somebody's family, and some of those kids are older now than their parents were the day they hit record. 3 became a magic number again.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is.
Jump to 1989. You're in a dorm or a buddy's car, radio cranked, and De La Soul comes on. 3 Feet High and Rising. Coolest record on the planet that year. And somewhere under that brand new beat, you hear something your body knows before your brain catches up. Wait, that's 3 is a magic number. They sampled it.
It takes 3 wheels to make a vehicle called a tricycle.
The song off your living room carpet is suddenly the hippest thing in the building, and you're standing there grinning like an idiot because you might be the only one in the room who knows where it came from. And honestly, that's a great moment, but it's not even the big one. The big one's waiting in 2021.
Or excited, wow, or glad, hey! An interjection starts a sentence right.
In a movie theater, where half the crowd has no idea what they're hearing, and the other half, our half, knows in a heartbeat. The Spider-Man moment only we caught. So it's the end of Spider-Man No Way Home.
Make it a verb and really send it.
Credits, music, and this little flash of old hand-drawn cartoon with a tune underneath. And the young folks go, oh, cute, nice track, and reach for the popcorn. But the guys our age, we sat straight up in the dark because we knew instantly. That's 3 is a magic number. 3 Spider-Men on the screen, 3 is a magic number. And the directors came right out and said they did it on purpose. Think about what that even is. A 9-figure blockbuster stopped to wink at a cartoon math song from 1973. And only one specific generation in that whole theater got the joke. That moment wasn't for everybody, it was for us. But the show didn't always get a wink from the future. Sometimes the future just made it wrong. And
I rest, I sleep, I sit, I lie. That's what's happening.
in 2006, it broke one of its best songs, when Pluto broke Interplanet Janet. There's a song from '78 about a space traveler named Interplanet Janet, and she cruises right past all 9 planets. 9.
Pluto, little Pluto is the farthest planet from our sun.
You learned them in that order, in that melody, end of story. Then 2006 rolls around, and a room full of scientists votes Pluto off the island. And just like that, a lyric you'd sung since you were 6 is wrong. Not out of date, wrong.
Hydrogen and helium in a big, bright, glowing mass.
Later DVDs literally went back and edited the line. Teachers had to freeze the song mid-verse to explain to kids why the cartoon was suddenly incorrect. And man, if that isn't getting older in one tidy little package. The stuff you were dead certain about as a kid just quietly stops being true while you're looking the other way. Janet got a rewrite, Pluto got demoted, and you got older, learning the hard way that the things you know can stop being things you know. The bill was lying to us. I'm just a Bill, poor little guy, slumped on the Capitol steps in that sad little voice, hoping he'll grow up to be a law someday.
I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die and commit.
As a kid, cleanest explanation of government you ever got. As a grown man who's watched Washington for 30 years, it's a bedtime story. Because that sweet little bill left a lot out. No filibuster, no lobbyists, no dark money, no mention that most bills just quietly die in a drawer for reasons that have got nothing to do with whether they're any good. Real bills don't sit there being patient and hopeful. Real bills get killed. And get this, both Politico and Vox actually tried to write a grown-up, honest version of the song.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't beat the cartoon. So the little guy still wins. He just lied to you a little, and you didn't catch it for 40 years. The preamble we memorized without trying. Try it. Out loud, right now. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, and watch your mouth just keep going on its own.
We the people, in order to form.
You didn't study that. There were no flashcards. Lynn Ahrens wrote it in 1975 for the country's 200th birthday, and it walked straight into your head and never left. And here's what gets me. You've still got it, every word. Your kids don't. A cartoon handed an entire generation the actual opening of the United States Constitution by accident, in song, and it's still parked in there next to your old phone number. That's not a lesson. That's a whole generation carrying the same words around without even trying. And the people who pulled that off had no clue it would outlast them.
United States of America.
Or that the show itself would get killed before a single one of them got a real thank you. The cancellation nobody talks about. And then they just killed it. ABC pulled the plug. No farewell, no last episode, nothing. The kids who used to sit cross-legged in front of it were teenagers by then gone off to college, and the network simply moved on. This is the Reagan-era flip in kids TV. Away from teaching you anything, toward half-hour shows that were basically 30-minute commercials for a toy. Educational? Out. Buy the action figure? In.
The USA was just starting out a whole brand new country.
So the 3-minute jazz lessons got boxed up and shelved, and that's the end. Roll credits. Except, and I love this, the kids who grew up on it absolutely would not let it stay dead. What they did about it is honestly a little nuts, and it's the only reason your grandkids have any shot of ever hearing the words Conjunction Junction.
I'm not garbage. I'm an amendment to be. Yes, an amendment to be.
The comeback nobody saw coming. How much do you have to love something to mail a letter, a real handwritten stamped letter to a television network? Because that's what started happening in the early 90s. College kids, the ones raised on the show, writing in, petitions, by hand. No internet, no hashtag, no posting about it, just envelopes piling up on somebody's desk at ABC. And it worked. 1993, the show comes back. New episodes, Dorough back at the mic, Jack Sheldon back. A dead thing, alive again, purely because a generation refused to let go. Which is a beautiful story, right up until you look at what that comeback actually dragged into the light. Because the same revival that put these guys back to work also put a spotlight on what they'd been paid for all of it. Or really, on what they hadn't. What Bob Dorough was still doing at 80. The man who taught the whole country to multiply was still working bar gigs in his 80s. His 90s even.
When it's 3, you can see it's a magic number.
Now do that with me. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
And you have to ask why. Why is a guy whose voice is wired into 100 million American brains still dragging himself to a tiny jazz club for a Tuesday night set at that age?
Conjunction Junction, what's your function?
Simple. He needed the money. Read that again. His songs are running on TV, on home video, in classrooms in all 50 states, and the man who wrote them is out playing for tips. And the part that actually breaks my heart, he never once made it sad. He'd close the night with Conjunction Junction and grin out at the room like he was the luckiest guy alive. He taught a country to multiply, and he still had to work the door. Work for hire. And here's the why. The part that never makes the warm little tribute clips. The whole show got made inside an ad agency, McCaffrey and McCall. And legally, that means the people who made it never owned a thing, not a note. The agency owned it, then ABC, then Disney. The songwriters got a flat fee per song. Write it, cash the check, goodbye. No royalties, no piece of the back end. Didn't matter if the song got sung 100 million times, the money was a one-time deal, decided up front. Dorough, Lynn Ahrens, Dave Frischberg, Jack Sheldon, every last one of them. They got jingle money, soap commercial money, for songs that turned into national monuments. And it somehow gets worse, because in 1996, the whole catalog landed in the hands of one of the biggest companies on the entire planet. Disney owns your childhood. Disney buys ABC. One signature in every last scrap of Schoolhouse Rock becomes Disney property. Every song you know cold.
She's been to the sun, it's a lot of fun. It's a hot spot, it's a gas.
Every hand-painted cell, Bill on the Steps, Janet in Space, all of it. From that day on, every dollar, home video, streaming, the merch, the lunchboxes, roll straight into Burbank. And the people who actually made it? Not a dime. So let's just say it plainly. Your childhood is legally a Disney asset. And you'd think this is where these guys finally get bitter, walk away, let the whole thing go. They didn't. They kept showing up. Dorough most of all. The man had one more night left in him. One performance that would go straight into the history books. On a stage that almost couldn't hold the crowd that came out just to see him. The night the Kennedy Center overflowed. January 2013, the 40th anniversary. The Kennedy Center, the Millennium Stage, and close to 1,000 people show up. Way past what that room holds. People standing in the aisles, jammed against the walls, Gen X grown-ups who hauled their own kids along to see it. And there's Bob Dorough, pushing 90, up on that stage doing Conjunction Junction. And every single person in that overflowing room is singing it back at him. Every word. And I keep thinking about what that had to feel like for him. A man who played half-empty clubs for 60 years, finally standing in a room that couldn't hold all the people who came just for him. That's the closest thing to a thank you he ever got. After everything, the no royalties, the bar gigs, one packed room, singing his song. One night.
Conjunction Junction. What's your function? Hooking up words.
He earned 100 of those and got one. April 23rd, 2018. April 23rd, 2018. Bob Dorough, 94. Gone. And every obituary reaches for the same line. The jazz musician who taught America to multiply.
I knew it on the night we met. Yeah.
And reading that as a grown man lands in a way it just couldn't have when you were a kid eating cereal on the floor. Because this is the part nobody preps you for. The voices that built your mornings start going quiet. Jack Sheldon, gone the next year.
My name is Jack Sheldon, and I was born in Jacksonville, Florida at the St. Vincent's Hospital.
Dave Frischberg, gone in 2021. One by one, the people who made your Saturdays are leaving, and most of them already have. And what they handed you isn't a cartoon on your phone. It's something you can only really feel once you've lived long enough to turn around and look at it.
Dean Johnson.
They didn't just teach you stuff. They were some of the first grown-up voices you ever trusted. And now, they're nearly all gone. Why you still know every word. Here's something almost eerie when you stop and sit with it. You've forgotten things you genuinely tried to hold on to. Names, passwords, where you put the keys 10 minutes ago, half the people from high school. But Conjunction Junction? Locked in. Forever.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect you.
The preamble's sitting in your skull right next to your first phone number and your locker combo from 1979. The stuff that got burned in early and just never burns out. And it's not an accident. A song you learn young, all tangled up with feeling, doesn't fade. It becomes part of the actual wiring, which is also the quietly sad part. Whatever your grandkids are scrolling through right now is not going to grab them the way this grabbed you. There's a reason for that. And it's the exact same reason a show like this almost certainly never gets made again. Why they can't make this anymore. And the reason's almost brutal in how simple it is. Back then, every kid was in the same spot, same channel, same hour, same Saturday morning. One screen, all of us, at once. That world is gone. Vaporized. Kids today are spread across 1,000 apps, every one of them clawing for 8 seconds of attention, most of it built to sell something. No network on earth greenlights a 3-minute jazz song about the Constitution in that world.
9 planets large and small parading by.
The money won't allow it, the attention won't hold it, and that one shared moment, a whole country learning the same thing at the same time, doesn't exist and isn't coming back. And yeah, that's a real loss. But flip it for a second. It means what we've got isn't just a memory, it's an inheritance. We might be the last generation to get something like this. That's us, what we actually got. So let me just say the real thing out loud. As kids, we figured we got a catchy song to kill time before the cartoons. We didn't.
I'm not garbage. I'm an amendment to be. Yes, an amendment to be.
We got a civics class. We got a jazz education from world-class players and didn't even know it was happening. We got the opening of the Constitution for free.
Junction, junction, what's your function?
For life. And we got something I'm not sure anybody after us gets. A memory we hold in common with millions of strangers. People we'll never meet who know the exact same songs, by heart, note for note. The men and women who gave us all that never got rich. Most of them are gone now. They got paid like jingle writers, and they made something a whole country can't forget. They didn't make millions, they taught billions. And if you can still sing the preamble, that's their monument, and you're it. Drop your favorite song down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.